Alrighty, so the new Hell difficulty for the Knighthood boss is out, and obviously we're getting the same one that JP and Korea got, which is Belgius, Belgian Waffle Man. Very interesting. If we look at the individual rewards over here on the right, you can see that the regulars like sort of difficulties, the normal, hard, and expert difficulties all have their own individual rewards, whereas Hell difficulty doesn't even start until you get to 5.5k points earned, and it goes all the way up to 9k. So obviously they're wanting you to sort of do a couple of runs, or maybe try to get one really good run to get all of these rewards throughout the week. The best, I've only been able to beat him once so far. I've tried a couple of different comps as far as like the unknown team goes, because if you don't know already, for Belgius specifically, you don't want to use demons, because one of the swords does like 800% extra damage to demons, one of the swords does 800% extra damage to angels, and then the other, or like the Belgius himself, does 800% extra damage to humans. So you want to use fairies, you want to use whatchamacallit, you want to use fairies, unknowns, giants, something that's not one of the three races that are going to get absolutely destroyed. With King coming out, obviously there might be a decent King team that we could use, like an interesting fairy team. I might look into trying to mess around with that a little bit, because obviously he's brand new, it could be pretty decent, but we're going to be using the unknown team. So this is the team that I originally beat it with. I don't really like this Gother on the team. He doesn't really do much for the team, but at the same time, Belgius does this thing where if you use a buff card, for example, regular Gother's rank up, it will freeze the unit, and when they hit him while he's frozen, it deals a ton of extra damage and could potentially kill him. So yeah, it takes 70 stamina to just run this once. So I'm hoping that I can maybe beat this the first try. I'm not really going for like a crazy good score. I think the fact that this has its own rewards in it on its own in general is really nice, because you know you won't really have to worry about trying to get like a crazy score. You'll still get some pretty decent rewards regardless. But yeah, so the couple of things that I've noticed is, if you're going to run teams that use buffs or anything like that, you want to take out the one on the right first, because it gains additional damage dealt, and it takes less damage depending on how many buffs your team has. If not, you want to kill the one on the left, because it deals with debuffs, and they do end up debuffing. Plus, it uses a skill at some point where it will actually attack seal you, and this team has a lot of attack skills. So we're basically just going to throw as much as we can out on this guy at turn 1, try to get this left sword down as quickly as possible, so that way we can kill it. In Hell difficulty, the boss himself, Belgius himself, does have the sort of that one thing that the bird boss has, where you can only deal 30% of his maximum HP in one move, which is kind of annoying. But at the same time, most of the time with this team, I'm not dealing like an insane amount of damage, so there is that, I guess. But yeah, just do be aware that you can't deal like an insane amount of damage in one shot with this guy. So yeah, keep that in mind. Other than that, let's try to maybe freeze him, so that way we don't get attack sealed again. I maybe should have froze him at the end of turn 1, but luckily for us, Festival Merlin does absolute work to this man. So we'll freeze him. That way none of his cards go through. We'll have to deal with one card from him. We got a level 2 Power Strike card with Merlin, which is good. So that'll actually come in handy. We're getting a decent amount of ultimate gauge on Gother as well, which is really nice. So we should be able to use that to deal some extra damage to this one over here. And just be aware that every 3 turns, Belgius himself is going to put up a stance card. So if you have Rom on your unknown team, make sure that you save up a level 2 of her stun card, because it actually removes stances and will come in very handy. So this next turn, he should be putting up the stance. We will remove that. We have ultimates in hand, which is going pretty well. I've tried to use the team, instead of Amelia, to use like Rom or Rim, so that way we can try to just build up stacks and stuff like that, but it really just doesn't work all that well. So yeah, just keep that in mind. I think we're just going to go ahead and use all 3 of these, because I don't really need them for anything specific. Just mainly doing damage. I don't think any of these, I don't really have crazy ult levels on any of these characters, so they're all going to do pretty baseline damage. but like I said, you can only deal up to 30% of his max HP regardless, and he does heal quite a bit on his turns, so you want to make sure that if you are going to kill him, maybe have what you need 2 turns worth, I guess. So yeah, let's try to maybe get some. I think I should be able to remove the ultimate here. I think this will work, right? I'm still kind of iffy with this festival go there. Okay, so we did remove that actually, which is good. Dealing a little bit of damage, which is kind of nice. I still am kind of behind, and I can't pull any power strike cards, which is kind of unfortunate. So that's gonna hurt me a little bit. He didn't heal quite as much as I would have thought he would. Let's use that. So that way we get that card. Let's use these 2 cards. I don't think we kill here. We might. Yeah, we're killing here actually. This is gonna deal damage. Boom. And there we go. So obviously this isn't like it's super insane. I don't even know what the strat would be specifically for getting a really high score on this fight. I don't know that even HP food is really going to do all that well. Yeah, I got like 6.6k on my first run, and I don't even remember what I did. I don't even think I was using food on that run. So whatever I did must have been a lot better than this run specifically. It maybe have just been like remaining HP probably. I think I did have this one done. So he does seal recovery cards, so it may be just a matter of getting decent RNG and trying to make sure that you can kill the boss as quick as possible. This one has used rank 3 cards 2 times, and without having regular go through on the team, it's going to be really tough. And then this one is for you just beating it with a giant team in general. I do have a couple of giants. I don't know, maybe I'll mess around with this a little bit more throughout the week and, you know, see whether a giant team would be better for it, or maybe, like I said, if we can try to use the new Festival King on it, it could be kind of cool as well. But that's currently what I use to beat it. Obviously, if you don't have those units or anything like that, you can experiment around a little bit. Like I said, you can use unknowns, fairies, or giants. You just make sure that, I think you want to have like all of one type. You know, I don't guess you would necessarily have to, but a lot of those like units kind of buff each other a little bit, so I don't know. Obviously not a perfect team comp, but this is what I used to beat it, and those are the rewards that I was able to get from it. So that's pretty much it from me. Don't have anything else to say. Kind of a short little video, very interesting. Let me know if you have already beat this or whatever the team that you used for it. Leave it down in the comments below. Maybe it'll help somebody out. Maybe I'll try to mess around with the team if I think it's really cool or something like that. But yeah, that's it from me. Let me know what you think. That's it. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. Try to hit 6K, and I'll see you guys in the next one.